been overseas to the United States of America selling wine. How's it going over there?
It's going very well. United States, New Zealand wines are really starting to become well known in the United States now, and they're being looked at. Particularly people looking for Sauvignon Blanc. The stores, the company that we're with, have 240 Sauvignon Blancs from throughout the world. They have 25 Marlborough Sauvignon Blancs. They have 35 New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs in total, and then they have a Chilean, Argentinian, Australian, French, anywhere that's, and North American, Californian. Anywhere that Sauvignon Blanc is grown, they'll have quite a good range of them. So they have 240 of them. We're happy to say that our particular brand is their #1 selling Sauvignon Blanc, which is always nice to have. So we've worked on that brand for quite a while with them since we got into the stores in 2008. But New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc is incredibly well respected in the United States. And it's lovely to be there doing tastings, doing work, and just know how well New Zealand is known and appreciated by the Americans. Years gone by, people say, tell an American you're from New Zealand and they'll just not know where it is. Well, that's not true anymore. They know very well where New Zealand is.
And that's because of wines such as yours?
No, I think we're spinning off very much from the success that Peter Jackson's films have had in North America.
Really?
Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, to a lesser extent the All Blacks brand, but they were certainly well received in Chicago last year. But certainly the people come to, well, you'll ask them as they're walking past you, would you like a tasting of New Zealand wines? And they stop dead and they say, oh, I love your accent. No, we don't have an accent, you have an accent.
Exactly.
And of course
You actually speak English.
they crack up about the thought that they've got the accent that we haven't. And then they're immediately attracted to want to talk to you about New Zealand, and they know about New Zealand. And a lot of them say, oh, the Hobbit or the Lord of the Rings, or whatever it may be. A lot have been to New Zealand, lots of New Zealand's on their bucket list to come here. Operation Deep Freeze had a lot to do with Americans coming to New Zealand. So it was widely respected, but then the quality of our product is also very, very widely respected as well.
So there's a lot more room for more wine to go over there, do you think?
Oh yeah, we're scratching the surface. Absolutely scratching the surface, really. It's a huge country. More and more people are drinking wine all the time. We're now seeing a real upsurge in dining out as their economy improves quite dramatically. And that's having ramifications for the beef industry in New Zealand, and all sorts of things will flow through from that.
You mean prime beef or manufacturing?
And manufacturing.
Both.
Huge. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Even though the dairy cow numbers here are going to be killed in quite large numbers and will compete directly against the bull market that normally New Zealand bull goes to the United States for grinding meat. Because it's lean, so is cow. There is an increasing demand for grinding meat in the United States because they're building up their herd, and at the same time as people are eating out more.
They're quite liking prime beef, which has been grass-fed rather than their feedlots?
No.
That was a very quick answer.
No, USDA prime is still what is favoured, and you'll still go to the prime steakhouses and they'll be advertising it as USDA prime. No, the big thing for New Zealand, and the thing that really confuses the US when you're talking to them and you get onto the beef and say, oh yeah, so we supply one of your leading hamburger chains with grinding meat, and they said, no, you don't. So, yes, we do, because simply the grinding meat of cattle coming off feedlots is too high in fat, and they need the very, very lean meat from New Zealand bulls and all bulls, full stop, to water the fatness down so that the hamburger patty stays together. So it's quite simple why there's a niche demand in the US for grinding meat. No, prime beef from New Zealand was more Asia bound, and that's where it'll go.
The other reason that you went overseas, of course, was just to drop in.
No,
on
the main
Finland.
reason we went. The main reason we were away was to go to Finland, and we just happened to do some work in America on the way over, just to justify the long trip. So no, we had to go to Finland to see the Rally of Finland. It was 30 years to the day that John Kennard, Hayden Paddon's co-drove for me for the first time. It was for me in what was then the Rally of the Thousand Lakes in Finland, and so it also happened to be the 50th rally that JK had, World Championship rally that JK had done. So Hyundai made a bit of a fuss over the 30 years and the 50th anniversary, and the fact that he had his original driver there was they made quite a bit of that too. So it was really quite cool. The result of the rally wasn't quite so cool, but being there was really good.
He had a big one.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And it wasn't because he was being silly. It wasn't as though he threw it away from the top of a brow. The rock was on the driving line, and it just the wheel was slightly turned as he was turning for the corner, and just a whole series of circumstances. The wheel clipped the rock, broke the steering arm, and at 170 kilometres an hour, no steering, there's only one way you're going to go, and that was into the trees. So that's where they went.
What's the reaction to him? Because I now see in the coverage on television that all of a sudden he's being interviewed, and all of a sudden he's being followed.
Oh, he interviews incredibly well, and he has the approach in the service park and with the team of a Kiwi. And Kiwis are pretty relaxed. They've usually got very good ideas on how to change things, or how to make things happen, and how to make things work. And they don't. And Hayden in particular is not a prima donna. He's got no airs and grace. He doesn't think he's better than he is, and he doesn't even try and pretend that he's as good as actually he is. So he is very, very, very well received, not only by the team and the team environment. You can just tell when you're there. The team environment were devastated when he retired, because he's the one really giving the results to Hyundai at the moment, and so they were very, very sad to see him go. But it was really neat to be in the crowd, and we were at the stage next from where he crashed. So we did not know he crashed until it came across the radios. And bearing in mind they have a radio station devoted to nothing else but the rally all day, full hour upon hour upon hour of screening of rally. Yeah. And all the stages are live, and they're interviewing drivers at the end of every stage. And so a lot of it was in Finnish, and we couldn't understand what was being said. But a ripple went round the crowd when on the radio they heard a stage further down the line that Hayden was out, and they have adopted him as a Finn. As simple as that. They see a lot of Finnish attributes in him, and so he's very much as a fan. The fans in Finland very much have adopted him as a pseudo Finn,
Which is huge, Brent.
Oh, it is.
Thank you very much indeed.